gentlemen are ready. All right, good morning to everybody. Today is Monday, July the 13th, 2026, 9 o'clock a.m. Gonzales County Commissioners Court, we're now in session. I looked at the sign-up sheet for public comments. We do not have any at this time. So we'll move into the consent agenda. The following may be acted upon in one motion. The commissioner, county judge, or citizen may request items to be pulled for separate discussion and or action. You'll have an opportunity to go over the consent agenda. Is there any questions?
No questions, and I move we approve the items listed on the consent agenda. Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the items listed on the consent agenda as listed. Any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried. All right, we'll move into deliberate and consider action on the following items. Number 14, we'll have a presentation from Lauren Werner with the Department of State Health Services. Lauren, it is all yours.
Thank you. Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. My name is Lauren Werner. Thank you for the opportunity today to briefly present the 2025 Gonzales County Public Health Report. I serve as the public health nurse for Gonzales County with the Texas Department of State Health Services. With me today is Sabrina Cotton. She's the community health specialist, and we are both located in Hallettsville. I would also like to recognize Dr. Lillian Ringsdorf, our Region 8 Medical Director, and Bill Morrow, our Deputy Regional Director. Throughout the year, we continue providing essential public health services to Gonzales County residents, including immunization services, HIV and STD testing and education, tuberculosis monitoring, child passenger safety inspections, and health and safety education throughout the community. This year, we expanded public health outreach by strengthening partnerships with local schools, healthcare providers, community organizations, and county agencies. These collaborations allowed us to bring health, education, and preventative services directly into the community through immunization clinics, health fairs, community events, and outreach initiatives. Some of the highlights from this year include coordinating the Gonzales ISD's back-to-school immunization clinic to improve access to childhood vaccines, hosting a child passenger safety event where certified technicians inspected child safety seats, distributed new car seats, and educated families on their proper use, participating in heat stroke prevention events, WIC breastfeeding events, and Christmas mailbox distributions, while providing education on disease prevention, safe sleep, breastfeeding, bike safety, and other public health topics. Looking at our 2025 public health data, Gonzales County reported 31 foodborne illness cases, 92 newly reported sexually transmitted diseases, 2 rabies-positive animals, fewer than 5 new tuberculosis cases, and fewer than 5 vaccine-preventable illnesses. Our public health team also conducted 44 food and camp inspections, provided 7 social service referrals, and reached 7 Texas Health Step providers through outreach and education. Moving forward, we would like to expand community partnerships, increasing health education opportunities, and continuing to strengthen public health outreach and family support services throughout Gonzales County. I would like to thank you, Judge Davis, and the commissioners for your continued support of the Texas Department of State Health Services and our efforts to serve the residents of Gonzales County. Also with me today are staff members from other programs who would be happy to answer any questions you may have. Would it be okay if they briefly introduce themselves to you?
Sure.
My name is Dr. Trevor Mays. I'm the Analytics and Public Informatics Team Lead. We do all of the data analysis in the entire region. We make all of the data visualizations that come out, and any of the reports that you guys see. Our team also made an annual report that's in front of you this year. And going forward, we'd like to send you a survey and ask if there's any information you want from us. We have plenty. We don't always know what you guys need, and we want to tailor it to Gonzales County. So if you guys, you'll see in your emails if you wouldn't mind filling that out. Thank you.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. I'm Gail Morrow. I'm the Deputy Director for Public Health Region 8, and it's my job to keep the lights on.
Good morning, my name is Nicole Flores. I work with the HIV STD program. We conduct public health follow-up for individuals who test for and are exposed to HIV and STD. We conduct partner visitation, testing, treatment, and education to both patients and providers. Good morning, everyone. My name is Melina. I'm with the tuberculosis program, and we protect the community by offering TB testing, treatment, and case management services. Our team also provides education to those medical providers on TB screening and legally mandated reporting requirements. Thank you very much.
My name is Cedric Castillo. I am the epidemiologist assigned to Gonzales County. Our program follows up on reports of infectious diseases that spread between people. We also interview patients and work with healthcare providers to learn where the infection could have come from and try to prevent it from spreading to others. We also track the number of infections identified in your county so we can understand what illnesses are affecting your county members. Thank you.
Good morning, Judge. I'm Lily Ainsworth, Regional Medical Director, and I'm also serving local health authority for Gonzales County. So thanks for having us this morning.
Thanks for being here.
Good morning, my name is Lauren Hennepy. I'm the immunization program manager. We work to provide, as Lauren mentioned, childhood vaccines. We work with the current local providers, Gonzales Community Health Center. Again, making sure access to vaccines is available. We also assess the schools and childcare facilities to make sure that the kids that are in these facilities are meeting the minimum standards of vaccine standards so we can, again, prevent vaccine-preventable diseases. Thank you.
Good morning, gentlemen. My name is Madison Smith. I'm with the Preparedness and Response Department. So we assist with local emergency management, EMS, hospitals, and healthcare partners. We help with planning, training, exercise, and then during disaster, we help with the response.
Hello everybody, good morning. My name is Michaela Oniagas. I'm the new regional planner in the Preparedness and Response Division, so I'm looking forward to working with you all very soon.
Morning, my name is John Stewart. I'm with the Zoonosis Control Program, and what we do is we provide public health outreach and follow-up for diseases that are transmitted from animals or insects to humans.
And I think that's everyone's from our team today. So it's not just me and Sabrina. We're more here locally working with your schools and some of your other local organizations, but we have a whole team behind us that specializes. So if you ever have any questions, reach out and I can coordinate you to one of these specific programs.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
We had the opportunity to get to work with a lot of y'all. Dr. Ainsworth, thank you for everything too. All right.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. All right, we're moving into number 15. We have an update from Jonathan Peterson from the CPM Texas regarding the annex project.
Good morning, Judge, morning, Commissioners. I'm here to give you the July progress update for the annex. During the month of June, we were able to get permanent electric power from those aircraft. The gas line installation was completed, and we're just pending the installation of the gas meter. We continue the installation of the exterior insulation, metal wall panels, and building envelope components. We completed the coordination of the north roof edge detail for R543, so that's why the roof is not yet completed on the north side. We progressed the HVAC startup activity, so if you were to walk in there, it's cool inside out. We continued the installation of the floor tile, the lighting, the HVAC, fire alarm, and interior finishes. We did begin the installation of the doors, the hardware, and the coming up this month, we will complete the north roof edge installation. We'll continue the installation of the exterior metal wall panels and the canopies and the remaining building envelope system. south side looking to the north. This is a picture from last Tuesday. They did get a little bit more wall panel progress throughout the week, which is this photo here. So they're going to continue on, but they did kind of stop a little bit in order to coordinate the sidewalk installation. So this is the chipping of the loading dock right here. So they had to hand chip the loading dock. The loading dock was tied into the slab. So this is the gas line installation. The one on the left is the gas line running up to the roof to the HVAC units, and then we got the green tank on the right. So right now it's just ready for the Texas gas to come set the meter right now. This
Is
is
that gas, they need some type of thing around it like that?
That's what I was asking on ED Square. I was asking if it needed a pad or anything, so I'm going to continue
Or
that.
just something so nobody runs
It
into
might
it.
get some bollards, I would say. probably.
We are gonna put some bollards in, we did talk to Mark about that, with Mark West, and he had something that he requested too, so there will be some bollards.
We'll put something.
We didn't need nobody running with that.
So this is the east side of the building. This is probation, adult probation and juvenile probation. So they did start the finishes in probation at first, so they are progressed. They are those advanced finishes. Here's more adult probation. On the right-hand side, you can see that you can't really see it from the far away photos, but they did get a lot of the windows installed. This is a picture. The doors are now starting to be installed and painted. Millwork did show up, I believe it was last week it showed up, so on the left-hand side is adult probation break room, and the right-hand side is the court area, more court area right here. More millwork that has shown up. This is the tile in the restrooms. Now, I'd say the smears, that's just them wiping down the grout, so that is now gone, so that's just the photo I had. This is power on the right-hand side, and the left-hand side we do have door security, so door security and stuff is installed as well. This is the hallway to the court. The commissioner's court would be the left-hand door, and the district court is the right-hand side. So they are preparing for the millwork wall panel in this hallway. This is more of the court break area, conference rooms, offices. And then this one, left-hand side is Commissioner's Court. You can see last month we didn't have the finish and the paint on the wall, but we do now. And the right-hand side is the district court. And that's it. Still progressing. Any questions?
Finish date?
It's still 9/1. The one thing I need to work out with ID Squared is the civil scope. They do have a meeting with the subcontractor today to just try to confirm the dates and all that. So I should be hearing this week on that, but I am pressing them to try to get that done by 9/1 as well. That's the one thing, so I should have an update here soon on that one.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move to number 16. John Duke with CPM will give information of a more focused financial update regarding the courthouse project.
John Duke. All right, Jonathan's gonna throw this up on the screen here for us too. In a second, so that y'all can follow along with what we've got printed out. And do have Chris Allen here as well with RBC Capital Markets. He's your financial advisor, if you recall. Chris and his team, Ruben, they guided us through the tax note issuance last year. And Gregory Miller, on bond counsel, he may be coming as well. So they're here to answer any specialized financing questions that I probably can't answer, so I have to the Holiday Inn, right, but not a full expert. So this is, and Jonathan will get it up here in just a second so the rest of y'all can follow on, but if you went to the town hall in May, this is basically the same presentation. We've updated a few things, so we'll go out there in a second, but that's what we're walking through. So we're going to talk through just the state funding and the overall project budget, how we came up with the budget, the estimate, and then we're going to talk about the funding options, the tax impact, and the timeline, and then answer any questions. So like I mentioned, this is very similar almost exactly the same as what we did in May, but we wanted to put it out there again just to refresh everybody. So on the state funding and the overall budget, I think we're all anticipating the imminent approval, knock on wood, of the THC grant. So if y'all recall, the full THC grant, the maximum that the state can provide to y'all for the restoration of the courthouse is $10 million. Y'all were awarded just over $1 million for a planning grant a couple years ago. We've since applied this year for the actual construction grant, which would be the remainder, which is $8.9 or so million of additional money to actually go into the construction. That was submitted earlier this year, and we expect to hear back. The deadline to hear back on the grant award is the end of this month. So we do anticipate that you will be awarded that grant money for several reasons. One, because you've done a good job with O'Connell Architecture and just in the process of planning that. And two, this is the last J. Riley courthouse in the state of Texas that has not been fully restored, so they are interested in that. Okay, so I don't want to get too far ahead of that. Y'all may not want to see all this.
It's not.
Oh, okay. You need a, is it a computer thing? Probably. Okay, sometimes when I like check in my computer, it works better. Okay, so as I talk through this, and I know y'all can't see it, but the commissioners can. There's two budget options that we would recommend, and I think there's even probably a third option that we'll talk through that don't have necessarily shown here, but the full budget, like we estimated, I'm gonna explain how we got there again, but the full total budget, we would say is $30.8 million. That's the recommended budget from CPM. I'm gonna walk through what the difference between these two numbers are. And then there's a leaner budget of about $28 million. The difference between those we'll go through in just a second, but of that, y'all have already expended out of that full budget about $1.7 million. This is probably a little bit old because that was in May, so there's a little bit, but not much. So of that, that's already been spent. It's behind us. You've received the planning grant money, the majority of it against that. So this all, I want to be clear that when I say $30.8 million, it's not $30 million or $30.8 million of remaining money. This is the total budget from when you started to today is what this represents. And then the THC grant, if you were to see this pie chart, the THC grant is $10 million of that, and then we have the remaining net county obligation. And the net county obligation is really what we want to talk about today. It's like, okay, if y'all, not considering all the previously funded money or the THC grant, you then have a leftover amount to pay for. And then the full budget option, that's roughly $19 million. And then the leaner budget option, that's roughly $16.5 million. And so that's what we want to talk about here in just a minute with the tax note option. Like you have to raise that money somehow, and so we talked about doing that through a debt issuance. So this one here, y'all can't see all this, so I apologize. This represents the difference between the two budgets. And so what really, it's just how we apply contingency. So we have a standard contingency model that uses multiple contingency buckets that sometimes build on top of each other. And when we apply that, it equals $6.2 million of contingency. We're going to talk about what contingency is here in a minute and what it's not. But if we do all our standard practice contingency models, it's $6.2 million. If we just go in and we say, look, we're going to add everything up, not including contingency, we're going to put one contingency bucket of 15% across the whole project. It actually ends up being substantially less. but it ends up being about 13%, sorry. And then, we'll stop for a second and go back. $6.2 million ends up being about 20% of contingency total for the budget, and then this other option is about 13%. So it's one uses our standard model, the other one kind of just applies one big bucket. And so it ends up being about 13% of the total budget, which is $3.7 million. I would say either one is defensible, meaning if somebody said, well, why did you go with that? I think both methods make sense. It's just one is, it depends on the risk profile that the county is willing to accept. Obviously, if you have less contingency that you raise, then you have less cushion for the unforeseen conditions. But we could talk about different ways to manage that. Contingency. So what is contingency? So I think like what we would tell you is contingency is not necessarily spending money. Like we want to start off, like every project is going to have change orders, especially a historical restoration like this one. And so contingency covers the unknowns, the things that, hey, we, on paper and drawings, we think that this window profile looks like this, but then when you get in here and actually open it all up, well, it looks different and something happened that we need to repair, maybe some structural component that we couldn't see. That's what contingency is for. And when you're doing historical restoration, you have a lot more of that kind of thing than you do with just a brand new project that you're starting from the ground up. And that's pretty straightforward and simple. We all understand what we're getting into. Even with the annex, there's been a number of change orders over time. I will say, like that one, we have not touched our contingency, and we don't think we're going to, because the bids came in under budget on the original budget that we set. So that one's looking real good, but there's definitely some unforeseen conditions that happened out there, and that building's only, I think it was about 50 years old or so. So you're dealing with a lot older building here. The other thing that contingency is for is there's bid day market conditions. So especially with this one, so the THC awards all the grants at the same time. So at the end of July, they're going to award all the grants. There's only so many contractors in the state and in the country that can do this kind of work. This is not your standard. This isn't just a new building where we can go hire out any drywaller or any framer. This is specialty work, especially with stone restoration. The roof, it's a new slate roof, and it's got a 100-year warranty. We can't just go hire any roofer to do that. Same thing with the window repairs, or the new window installation and so forth. And we can keep going, but this is very specialized work. There's only so many contractors that can do that work, and you're basically competing to get the contractors who, when this grant money all gets awarded, you're competing to get those contractors to come work for you. So again, we want to have the most appealing package with our drawings done, with funds available and everything like that, so that those contractors want to come here and give us their best possible price to do this work. So bid day market conditions are if several of these are letting at the same time, or say, there's TxDOT does a bunch of work that drives up concrete, or a war happens, in the Middle East, like when you start getting fuel surcharges. There are things like that that could drive up prices that we can't predict today. That's why we have contingency. Still fighting. Okay, you want to turn right? Let me grab that. Hopefully Amy printed all these out for us. Okay. I'm going to talk about how we built the estimate next, which I'm on this page here. Right after that, I think. So when we start with several things like the professional services, we have contracts for, so we know how much a panel architecture is going to cost, we know what a structural engineer, and that sort of thing, at least what their initial contracts are. So we build out, there's a professional services component, and there's some regulatory and permitting fees, which out here, thankfully, those aren't that expensive. And the biggest cost is construction. So of the $30 million, about 21 million or so of that is construction. So we took the drawings, which define the scope, and we investigated those. We went through them. We understood how many square feet of flooring are we going to have, how many square feet of drywall, light fixtures, that sort of thing. We counted those up, and we applied two things. We applied historical costs, looking at work that is similar to this that we've done in the past, and we also called subcontractors. So, for example, the roofing and the masonry or facade restoration is extremely specialized. So we talked to a specialized contractor. They came out on site, they actually walked, got out on the roof, they looked at it, they walked around the building, they made a couple of site visits, and they gave us, here's how much we think it's going to cost. There's also a big fence, the fence restoration that is supposed to happen. We talked to another contractor who specializes in that kind of work, and they looked at the detail and the amount of feet we're going to have, and they gave us their opinion of that cost. So we did that with several components throughout the drawing set, and basically it's a combination of subcontractor feedback and our own historical data. I would tell you that there's about an 85% chance that we're right. So it's not, we're definitely not going to be 100% correct, but there's about an 85% chance that we're right. An estimate is not a bid, so if an estimate is somebody's opinion of probable cost. They did not go out and sign any subcontracts, they didn't put any bid packages out because the market isn't ready to sign up for that. So a bid is when contractor's price is submitted on bid day, they're willing to sign a contract for that price. So that's the difference between an estimate and a bid. The gap between those two is exactly why we carry contingency. So this is on this page with the donut chart here. This is a high-level breakdown of kind of the major components of the estimate, just so you can see, like, of the just under $21 million, it's broken up, and of course we haven't broken down even further than this, but it's just that this is a good way to bite-sized chunks and understand where most of the costs are. So the single biggest cost is, just to give you an example, is the envelope and the exterior, so that's about 33% of the estimated cost. MEP systems are about 23% of the cost. Normally you see MEP being a lot more than that, but because of the historic nature of this, and like I said, you get a slate roof and that sort of thing, it's substantially higher than historical costs are for like a new building. Interior finishes are about 15%, so the interior finishes are where y'all have a lot more control, so I point that out because y'all aren't, I don't feel like anybody's overspending here on the interior finishes. It's not that big of a scope compared to the rest of it. Then we have contractor fee and insurance, which is about 10%, and so forth. The site work and utilities are about 5%, and then there's some other components in here. We did include forward escalation, so we did this estimate back in January, and as you know, it never gets cheaper, so we do have a way of estimating that in the future. The way we do that is we survey, this time we did 47 general contractors in the Central Texas area in the spring. The combined wisdom of that group said it would be about 4.5% per year, so that's what we have. In here it actually breaks down to 3%, but it's about $750,000 of forward escalation in the estimate, plus additional contingency in case we undershoot that. Let me slow down. So, are there any questions about how we came up with the numbers or what the budget before we talk about funding options and any other tax impact or timeline? So if we go to section 3, what I've got here is there's 2 pages that look pretty much the same. The first one is a timeline. Again, it's pretty high level, but it's a timeline if you were to do tax notes. Okay, which is what we do recommend for the reasons I stated before. The second page is a timeline if you were to do an election, so I'm going to start with the tax notes. So in May, we submitted the application to THC. July, which is this month, the THC announces grant award approvals. August, y'all would approve, at least in this scenario, y'all would approve tax notes, and there would be no election required. And then we could, once y'all did that, if you did it in August, we could immediately go out to competitive bidding, August through September, and basically you would start construction around November in this scenario. The next page is the alternative option, which is a bond election. And I'm using bond election kind of interchangeably with certificates of obligation too, which for this scenario I'm using tax notes and bonds just as an illustrative example. So same thing, July, they announced the grant awards. August, if y'all wanted to get an election on the, if you wanted to get an election on the November ballot, you would have to move quickly, starting in August. So there is time to do that, but your timeline would start in August. You have to be called roughly 78 days ahead of the election date. In this case, you move in to the annex October, November. November there would be a bond election, which obviously the outcome depends on the election. Approval is not guaranteed. And then if approved, by the time you get the bond election done and the funds and everything established, and we would go to bid after the bond election, you would be looking at early 2027 for contractor procurement in that March timeframe for construction to begin. I went in and at the bottom of this, I looked at what the forward escalation would look like over that period of time. And my best guess, again, it is a guess, but it's about if you delay the project from the tax note to the bond option, that amount of time of bidding, I think it cost you about $300,000 in escalation only. So it's not, it's real money. Time is money. So I wanted to put that in there. Okay, and then this next page shows the what the impact is on the tax rates, and I will say that this is an approximate estimate. Only we do have RBC here with Chris if you have any specific questions, but this is pretty close. I think they gave me an update that was like fractions of a penny off that I didn't get in here. But it's close enough, I think, for what we're talking about. So if we did, on the left-hand side of this is, okay, here's the full budget, on the right-hand side is the linear budget, and what it would do to the tax rate in both a 7-year tax note rate and a 15-year bond. You can do 30-year bonds, you can do 20-year, that sort of thing, but we chose 7 and 15 just for illustrative purposes only. So it basically equates to, on new tax, on the full budget, 7-year note would be right under 5 cents. 15-year bond would be 2.7 cents. And then on the linear budget, on the 7-year tax notes would be 4.2 cents, and the 15-year bond would be 2.3 cents. So bring that up, and I know that translates into real money and real impact for your county. Y'all have historically low tax rates, and so because of that, it is a lot of this is from a percentage standpoint, it's probably a pretty big jump, but overall, you do have a low tax rate, and even adding this would keep you under what we see a lot of other counties. Then the next page is, like, we worked with O'Connell Architecture to look at, hey, what if we only did critical repairs? Like, what if we said we're not going to We don't want to take the THC's money, and we just want to do critical repairs, because they'll only give you that money if you agree to do full restoration. So that equates to roughly, our best guess is about $10 million of work. So on a 7-year tax note for that, you're looking at 2.5 cents. On a 15-year bond, you're looking at 1.5 cents to the tax rate impact. So it's still only a partial fix. You're basically kicking the can down the road. I think, as I mentioned before, construction, it never goes down, and it's just going to continue to cost more money. I forget what the number is, but this courthouse was built for, like, do you remember when it was like $50,000 or something a long time ago?
Yeah, it was budgeted 65,000, came in at 64,000.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's illustrative enough. I know you're not talking about that much time, but we would all love to pay that. But as time goes on, it's just going to continue to cost more. I talked about, like, on this next page, is why timing matters. And, you know, what can move the price and why being ready gives us the best chance of getting this done. So costs rise at about 4 to 5% a year. Sometimes it's less than that. Sometimes, like in COVID, it's a lot more than that. I mean, we saw, you all know this, we saw record escalation in 2021, 2022, and thankfully it started to calm back down, but it's still not the 2 to 3% that the Fed is trying to target. So, you know, we're seeing so much, like right now, I'm sure you're aware of this, you've seen it in the news, but the data center, they call it advanced manufacturing and that sort of thing, that has skyrocketed. There's billions and billions of dollars worth of projects that are going in, and that is sucking some of the contractors and the trade force out. Samsung continues to be a market differentiator, and that they're continuing to build, and there's other chip plants, and so that happens right here. Tesla with their gigafactories, they're sucking the skilled labor to them on the construction side and paying people 712s, and some people enjoy that, and we can't compete with that, but the money doesn't matter. So those things contribute all the time to costs going out here locally. THC, I mentioned the grants all award on the same day. Post-election work floods the market, same thing. After bonds elections in November, schools, that sort of thing, like there's all of the work. That kind of work will also flood the market, and it causes, same thing, it takes away skilled labor and drives prices up. Old buildings hide surprises, so that's, I mentioned that before, but that's, I think the faster we go, the faster we run into those and tackle those problems. So in closing, I just want to say that we're asking you to consider, again, $10 million of state grants. So that's the biggest thing that's in state, is getting those state grants. Tax notes, they only need commissioners' court approval, and we can move faster with those, and they have the shortest amount of payoff. So they cost the county ultimately a whole lot less in the long run than any kind of 15-year, 30-year note would. We think it's manageable within your tax rates that we've seen. That's what we recommend. And then ultimately, you get the courthouse preserved, for a long time if we do this right. That's what the budget represents. And that is it. Sorry, y'all couldn't see all of that. I'm happy to pass this one around if you all want to go through it. If there's any questions or thoughts.
One thing I was going to make a point of is tax notes and tax note versus the bond, is that, if you did the new tax rate, say on the full budget, at 0.478 for a 7-year note, that changes the person that you didn't say it, but I mean to understand that on a $100,000 home, or somebody that has $100,000 worth of value, that tax rate changes $4. So it's not like it's a huge amount.
Yeah, I did consider that.
And then the tax note making making note of it too, that the tax notice versus the 15 years, would save the county $5 million, which in a small county, $1 million can go a long way. You can actually seal coats and roads for $1 million. So, other questions?
And they're still looking at what the end of this month, I guess, a full year or something.
Yes. I think that, well, it looks good, but yes, there was no official word to leave this one.
Just the intel that I've got, we're the top one. So they're going to award top down. And then another thing too is on the deal, I know everything with contingencies and everything that's in there. It's hard to decide what you're going to need till the bids actually come in. But what you're saying is this is the maximum. Bids could come in under that.
They could come in over that too. I mean, and I think that we would want y'all to, the way this is supposed to work is y'all issue the debt or decide on the debt and then we go procure. Because we do have to state the source of funds in any bid packages that we put out. And so we would want to tell them that, hey, we've got issued tax notes or y'all voted on, it's in the process of getting finalized while we go out or bond, whatever you want to choose. So, yes, I mean, there is a little bit, there's obviously some uncertainty there. 0% chance, 100% right.
85%.
85% chance we're right. That's what I think.
And again, what is the total number of full restorations that THC will be awarding?
They only do $10 million, so you like, per project.
Right, but how many are they gonna allow this year statewide? 4, 5, 6, 10?
Yeah, there will be, they usually do like 2 to 3 full restorations, and then they do the emergency ones for that, is what usually goes down until they complete their money. So that's what they usually.
Well, just trying to determine how big that pool, because there's a certain amount, like you said, qualified contractors in this particular trade that you'll be choosing
I
from.
think it's like $100 million, I don't remember.
I think it is 100, and that's what they have to give out, so.
So and they do that every 2 years, so they won't award, if you miss this, you gotta wait 2 years, and, so that's, you're talking 4.5%, 5%, that's at least 10% escalation, so $30 million, and just want it up to 33, like, just about that.
But like, how many contractors do you anticipate bidding on a project like this?
There's a couple of like really good ones out there that we would hope to get their attention on, and I think we could. Phoenix Restoration is one.
Phoenix one is one of the top.
They travel, this is what they do. And then there's another, there's Stoddard and JC Stoddard, one of those two. So there are other ones out there. And then there are other contractors that can do this work. It's just not what they specialize in. So I think we would prefer, if we could, to get the ear of somebody who specializes in this.
If you go to not the tax note, but the bond election, then they could possibly take on another project, is what you're saying.
Before, yes. Right, and if y'all go to bond election too, let's just say you go to bond election and it fails, you can't, I think you gotta wait 2 years for that too, so you can't, I don't think you can turn around, the Attorney General would frown on y'all turning around and issuing tax notes if the bond election failed, so there's that to consider as well. But yes, that would be the concern, is that, okay, where they only have so much capacity, where are they chasing the work? I promise you they're paying attention to where these grants get awarded. So then it's just which one do they want to do? This one's, it's in Gonzales, y'all have a lot of history here. Obviously, this courthouse is J. Rodney Gordon Courthouse, so this one's a good one. It's a good feather in your cap if you're them.
So if you pass up on the tax note, then you're pretty much kicking that out, you're not.
Yeah, if y'all decide to pass tax notes, then we go pretty quick. So,
But I'm saying if you pass on and don't do the tax note, go towards the bond, then the tax note's pretty much out of question, is what you're saying.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's a better way to put it.
And plus the bond would add plus or minus 300K.
That's right, and just time-related escalation. That's estimated, but that's what we think would happen.
not interest on the project either, that's.
No, I mean, I guess you'd have, if you did a bond and you did a longer timeline, you'd have interest that you'd be adding, so the total cost of ownership would be more, if that's what you're asking.
So we're on a little time deal here, and what if you call these contractors up, try to get a bid on them, they're tied up 5, 10 years on other jobs? That's the better end of it. What do you do?
I mean, I think you'll get people bidding on the project, so,
I know there's a couple of the historic ones that really want to bid on this courthouse. It's, yeah, they're gonna give you something.
y'all have other contractors here locally that are good contractors. You know, Weaver and Jacobs is a good one. They're pretty close to local, if not, I mean, they can do this work. Again, it's just, it's this, you're trying to get the contractor, but you're also trying to get the subcontractor. I mean, that's where it starts to get really narrow, is the subcontractor. And so, obviously, the contractors who do this kind of work should have better relationships with them. I mean, it has to be competitively bid, so that what we would do is, if y'all said, you know, you pass tax laws, we go out and do the competitive sealed proposal, which is what we did for the annex, where they're competing on price and qualifications. So we'll be looking at both of those, hoping to attract a pretty good number of bidders, so that, you know, it drives the price down, but also we can still look at qualifications to make sure that the people that are doing the work are qualified, rather than just taking a little bid.
The Randall Rather building, who was contracted on that? You remember that?
Before that time.
Like the fixes, or the, whatever y'all did last time?
Renovation.
I have no idea.
We'll find it.
I don't have any more questions.
Very good.
Okay. Sorry technology didn't work. We'll, we've got some copies of this.
Is there anybody out there that would like to see this? We have a copy if you would like to see it. All right.
Okay. Appreciate y'all. I'll leave this one sitting over there with Shauna, in case you want to. We're coming back in John.
August 10th. August 10th?
Yep, so we're gonna do another presentation on August 10th.
All right, for the open like we did the last time.
Yes.
Invite So you got somebody that needs to be there, you want to make sure they're there. All right, moving to number 17, update from, he's not here, but Greg's here, on draft condition and burn ban status.
KBBI is 331, so that's our question issue, expecting some rain this week. Don't know if there's a big issue.
Any concerns on the weather outlook for the week? I know there are chances of heavy rain.
I think we're going to be watching the river. It's, what we rain here, it's going to be rain most of us, so we need to keep an eye on it. We usually have plenty of warning if there's going to be an issue.
That's from out west.
That's where the heaviest, they're saying right now. But you never know. We'll keep an eye on it either way.
Moving to number 18, consider, discuss, and take any necessary action on subdivision applications, take note of notice of exceptions, consider any request for variance, and we have 3. We'll start with A first, exception request for Gary Lynn Black, 1 acre and a half, split out of 22.973 acres for the Sun Precinct 3.
That's right. Mr. Clack would like to split out some property for his son on County Road 271, which is off the Greenwood Road. We're talking, it is going to be public water. It's going to have plenty of frontage. No real issues are.
Yeah, I'll talk to Gary about it. Looks pretty good. That's where it's done, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, he's got some, can't see good.
All right, I'm gonna make a motion to request for hearing and plat that have that 1 acre at the split.
All right, motion is second, for the exception request for Gary Lynn Black, 1.5 acres split out to 22.973 for Sun. Any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. B, replat of lots 5 and 6 into lots 5A, 5B, 6A, and 6B, with BB Green Acre subdivision precinct 3.
Yes, so we have the developer here if you have any questions, but they are taking 2 lots that were about a little over 5 acres, splitting those in half for marketing purposes to see if they can have a better chance of selling those. It would be wells, although there is some water across the street. I don't know if they, I don't think they have electric meters, but there is water available. We do have a flush valve for fire, that sort of thing. Plenty of frontage. And the size is big enough for well specifics.
Yeah, I think we had this not too long ago, right? Have they sold any of these lots? Not none? You think split them might help, huh?
Yes, but, we've been kind of part of APAC, and they would act like smaller track, and actually, we have one ready to go under contract as soon as we're on the smaller track. And that's what we're just seeing is people don't want the bigger acreage, they want a little bit smaller acreage.
All right, I'm gonna make a motion, we replat 5, 6, and 5A, 5B, 6A, 6B, BB Green Acres subdivision.
Second that.
Motion is second for the replat of lots 5 and 6 into lots 5A, 5B, 6A, 6B of the BB Green Acre subdivision precinct 3. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, move to see, approve the final plat for the, was that Wycliffe subdivision precinct 2.
This is being done by Dr. Emmanuel Wycliffe. This is an old development. You know, they were all 10-acre or larger lots. Since that time, it started back in the 70s or early 80s. Since that time, we already had one larger lot that was split into a small subdivision. We've had, even I think in the last month, exception to split 2 acres out of another lot. Dr. Wycliffe going to be taking a 10-acre lot and splitting it into 4 2.5-acre pieces. Jimmy's happy with the road. It is a private road, but he's happy with the access for fire. They would be wells. There is a large well that right now that several of the residents access, but if they add any more residences to it, they have to become a water company, so they're going to have their own wells on these 4 lots.
I'll make a motion for the approval of the final plat for the Wycliffe,
I believe.
subdivision in precinct 2. I'll second.
Motion is second for the final plat for the Wycliffe subdivision in precinct 2. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Well, he gets a signature.
All right. All right, moving to number 19, we'll open up a public hearing for the county clerk's record archives plan.
Yes, sir. This hearing is being held in order for me to ask the Commissioners Court to approve my records archive plan and the continuation of the records archive fee.
So it's open for a public hearing. Is there anybody that has any comment on this? No one other than the air conditioner? All right. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing. All right, got a motion and a second to close the public hearing for the county clerk's archive plan. Any further discussion? All in favor? clerk's record archives plan and the continuation of the record archives fee for funding and preservation of county clerk records. Add anything to that?
You all have my records archive plan in your packets. This has allowed our office to be able to scan all the images for the deed records that are currently indexed in our system, as well as scan the documents that are older. We're currently back to the beginning, and this year we hope to start the deed of trust project as well. We currently have everything scanned and indexed back to the beginning.
I move to approve the county clerk's record archive plan and continuation of the record archive fee for the funding and preservation of the county clerk records.
I'll second.
Motion and second to approve the county clerk's record archives plan and continuation of the record archive fees for the funding and preservation of the county clerk's records. Any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Number 22, we'll discuss with action the AI course enrollment with the Texas Association of Counties.
Yes, it's a course that TAC is offering for all employees that have email or internet access. It's like with the cybersecurity course, it's going to be part of our grants coming up. They're going to check and make sure we're all up to date.
So it's mandatory that everybody takes that.
Going to be, yes.
So that's when we have to elect officials to make sure everybody enrolled in the boot course.
Everyone that utilizes or uses the computer.
Right, it has an email address, right?
They don't have an email address that doesn't pertain to that.
Correct. Right now, for this, we have like to August 31st to complete it. So it's going to be,
So
we
we need
don't
to
have
get,
much time.
we need to get on it.
Yes.
Well, I move we approve the AI course enrollment with the Texas Association of Counties. I second.
Motion is second to approve the AI course enrollment with Texas Association of Counties. Any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. All right. Move to 23, discuss with action adding a job policy to the current Gonzales County Personnel Policy Manual and Procedures.
Good morning, y'all. Shawna had gotten an email from OAG opinion stating that they don't, it's not mandatory that we have to have a job posting if we have a job opening. But doing the ADA stuff that we are doing now with Text.Gov, they recommend that we have a policy in place. And Kristen was kind enough to draw up the policy for us to make sure everything was legally correct and everything. So they are recommending that we get a policy in place just showing that we lease closed for 7 days, that would be 7 calendar days, not 7 working days, 7 calendar days. Just so we can say that we are compliant, that we are out there trying to get anybody who's willing to apply for a job instead of just trying to do everything internally.
And the posting, that's,
We can either post, the post is the same, you can either do it at the courthouse, through the newspaper, or on our website, or you can do all three, you can do just one, but as long as we do at least one of them for 7, the minimum is 7 days, 7 calendar days.
I would add the job posting policy to the current Gonzales County Personnel Policy Manual and Procedures.
Motion is second, adding a job posting policy to insert to the current Gonzales County Personnel Policy Manuals and Procedures. Any further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Number 24, discuss with possible action the abandonment of a section of August Street and alleyway in I-10 in Precinct 3, more particularly described in the property's description provided. Commissioner?
We're over in Octane, and I had a couple landowners over down there on, what street was that? But anyway, it was downtown, and they got a couple of those alleys they've been closing. And they wanted to close this, and they went through the stage of going through the neighborhood, talking to everybody. I went out there the other day and had a real good discussion with some ladies and stuff out there about that. Now they're wanting all their alleys closed too. So it's gonna start somewhere. It sits out there and we'll get it back on the tax roll. I mean, you get 15 more foot to your property back there, so. And all the landowners agreed to it, so I'm gonna make a motion. We go ahead and follow up on this, number 24 on lot 10. It's on August Street, but it's on an alleyway.
I'll second that.
All right, so we have the abandonment of a section of August Street in the alleyway 19 in precinct 3. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So you said there's more coming?
Sure. They're on the way.
All right, so we've been at it for a little over an hour. Would y'all like to take about 10, 15 minute break before we hit budget workshop? All right, so let's be back. We're gonna break until 10:15. Then we'll come back to budget workshop. 17, back in session, and we will begin our budget workshop. All right, so I guess to start this off, Sean, I guess we'll start off with the revenue side, kind of see where we stand, and then we can move into all of that.
I've given y'all, each a sheet, kind of shows the general fund, road and bridges, kind of where y'all stand today. Your fund balance, your textiles, and your CD, or CDs, some of y'all have a couple. That's just where you're at as of today.
Are we anticipating any significant changes in revenues next year as far as?
I mean, I know sales tax is going up tremendously now, so that's gonna cut into some of it. But the rest is kind of all the same.
On the appraisals, are they trending?
No matter,
No, why,
they went down.
Y'all see?
Must be talking to somebody or something.
I got a dry lake out there. He's got a good attorney.
Some of them, I was talking to some of the school districts, they were saying that some of their funds are down due to the oil field stuff, revenues and valuations and that this year, and it's like, did that impact us? So, we have this fiscal or?
Yeah, they're down.
Well, the estimated values. I won't get the certified values till next week, certified on the 25th.
I know they have been doing a few mills, certain places that got some covered.
Well, a lot of it has to do with the valuation, price of oil and all that old stuff. Nice to do all that.
Anybody have any questions or anything reference to revenues at this time? Sean, do you have anything else to add? All right, we'll move in. I guess we'll go in and start with the budget. Let's see. Okay, we'll go to Department 400, Mr. County Judge. I think the only change in that is the state fund.
Right, I just remember what we had.
I think it's 3150. That's a payment from the state that goes to the salary. That's not anything. I think as far as everything else, we're good there. I'm thinking about it now. I know we had a new laptop for our commissioner's school. I was just gonna bring that out to y'all since I was thinking about it. Trying to take it out this year's budget. I think it's like 1,400. We just need a new laptop that runs all of our stuff in here. The other one is kind of outdated. It's kind of slow. Or what's it doing, John? You can do.
Well, the battery, first of all, is dead completely. It won't hold a charge. Same with the camera, it won't hold a charge. The laptop is just antiquated and it's just not able to keep up with everything that we're doing.
Just to let you know, I think it's 1,400. That won't come out of my budget, but I just, now that I thought about it, I just thought I would point that out. Anybody have any questions on ours, Sean? I think we kind of maybe dropped a little bit on a few of those online. And the other thing that we did is we actually combined, I think it makes it easier on Sean, she combined the conference and seminar all into one instead of separated out. Instead of it being 3,000 a year and 2,000 a year, just put it all into one line, it makes it easier for everybody to the office. I think we did have a lot of them, older activities from years past, that's the reason why I have it. Anything further on that one, anybody? All right, move to the county clerk. On the county clerk, there was just, I think, two different deals that we have added in there. One of them is for a scanner, and one is for the computer. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, I'm off my, I got it now, just, so it's asked for a computer and scanner. About 10.5. And then same thing online, John, providing some things to make it easier as well. That's my training office, so I got by my seminars, yours was combined into one, so that might look different to y'all, but, the only change was
Yeah, it's been pretty good. Like, I know on mine, I think we cut it maybe 12,000 from what we had requested last year down. I think Alana has done the same thing on hers.
yes,
From last year's was 716 down to 695, but still has even added in the scanner and the computer. Appreciate you doing that, especially right now.
thank you, sir.
Anything further on that one, Sean? Anything from commissioners on that one?
Thank you for pulling the reins in there.
So on the county court, on the personnel services, this one here, we kind of go through it a little bit, Bobby, so kind of give you a little thought of what's going on since this is your first go around and what everything to ask. And if you have any questions, throw them out. So the Department 402, which is the county court. So in the county court, this here is where we, and I wish I knew if we were gonna get anything back on any of the indigent defense. That's,
I mean, we get some, but,
it's not a whole lot.
and I just keep watching the court-appointed attorneys also, because,
District court's
oh, it's,
is
yeah.
high, I mean, ours is going up, and I mean.
So these figures might go up a little bit as,
They
in the next
could.
month, because if we're gonna use it this year, we're for sure gonna use it next year.
But now this one here is not, this one doesn't have district courts in it.
No, this is just county.
This is just mine.
Just county, right?
So when you see on the court appointed attorney fees, we still kept it at 80,000, but I mean, it's just like, when they're indigent, you got to give it to them.
I mean, 'cause last year we ended up spending 94,000 in the end, so.
Right.
I just.
So far, we're a little bit better this year, but
Right.
we still have a few months to go, and I know like we had one court the other day where I had like 10 or 12, like, well, that's 500 a pop. But we don't have any choice, so just kind of get a job of that. It looks like autopsies are down a little bit this year. Just
Right now.
as of right now, that can change at any time. So just look at this budget, it hasn't changed just a whole lot, but it did drop a couple of thousand from the previous year. Anybody have any questions on that? And I think we haven't had any jury trials, but we got one coming up, finally this year. Not say finally, I don't mean to say it that way. We're finally gonna have a jury trial, we haven't had one in a while, but, you know, that's going, but I think we have plenty in there on all that to cover all that. We'll move into, Sean, if you have anything, or I skipped something,
No, yeah.
you pull it at me.
And just besides, you know, the court appointments might change.
Might
If we go
change.
to adopt, if we're gonna use it, kind of similar to last year, I might just up it, so we have it
Yeah,
there.
just depending on where we're sitting. And then we go to the veteran service officer, looks like,
He didn't have conference list, that he didn't budget anything, so I put $1,000 in his conference, so he would have some.
yeah, and that's it added in there. And then what else did you have? Okay, yeah, you just added that on.
Yeah, just added that.
Yeah, for this conference. And that's what he usually has every year, right?
Correct.
This did drop on this, well, not quite 1,000, but a little bit. That's good. department. Juvenile salary board, that one remained the same from all of that.
That may change a little bit, I haven't got the final figures, but.
Till it changes, but still 48.
Yeah, but we, oh, the juvenile, one, yes.
Yes. So basically, a lot of what that is on the juvenile side. And that's not for the judges, but yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so judges from the state money that's paid, that doesn't come out of county budget. Each judge, the district judges, each of the district judges, including myself, get $4,800 a year from the state for doing juvenile. So that's where you get in that part on the top of it. We're good on the outside audit on that. I know that we had discussed something about, if we talked to Phil on juvenile probation.
Yeah, that'll come out of juvenile.
That'll come out of there,
Yes,
all right.
they'll fix that.
All right, so that won't affect us then.
I did add a new line kind of new line, for juvenile detention for us to get them a check so we can put it in their checking account. And so instead of them having a department, they're going to be all in their own, so we're just going to.
Yeah, it'll be 3 different accounts. And that'll make it easier, especially for the auditors.
Right.
And I know that, because it was, I sent Cheryl an email, it makes it so much better. And that one that we got to transfer has to have rate of interest was approved to it also. So that's a new deal, and that happened since they used to be under the second 25th judicial district, but when they, in Milwaukee County and Colorado County, everything split, and we actually each county inherited juvenile probation as a county employee. So that happened last year.
Now here on non-departmental, we have all our donations that are.
Yeah, and that's something that I wanted to kind of bring out to visit with everybody. I don't know who all, has everybody pretty much received everything on theirs for this year?
No.
And the thing about it is just for y'all, Commissioners Court is gracious enough to give these entities something from Gonzales. Most of them are, as you can see them listed on there. You have Golden Crescent, Welder Heritage Business Center. I mean, and every year, at the end of the year, we have to start contacting them. You would think if we give them the money, they would contact us and give it to us. So, if you're going to give them some of that, I wish they would ask for it instead of all of us having to figure out how to get the money that we have budgeted for.
Now, like at Nixon Ministerial Alliance, they can request again.
Nixon Ministerial Alliance did request.
They did.
They did. So then that was, this may change something.
All recently, all,
Yeah.
used to have about 4 or 5 that happen. I can't, CASA, I don't know who's.
All of them do play somewhat of a vital part in Gonzales. And I know that we do get the Ed Association. The Ed Association does an awful lot for their community by having the Easter egg hunts and all of the different stuff where they have a national night out. So they do help in all of that. And they're actually really active in this stuff, so I think that's good. So we also give Norman's House, some of these other ones in there. I think Neeson Library finally said something. My question to y'all is on that. Do y'all want to continue with the same amount that we've kind of set it at? The one for, on the juvenile side, that Maggie's deal is in there.
6,500, yeah, she said.
You want to cut that in half? What did she make a decision?
She didn't say, she said you didn't have to do the 65, you could do like 2 or.
So that's 49.44. Let's just drop that one this year because I know they do have some.
We use it.
They use it, but it's built pretty good. So let's just drop that one this year to 2,000. So the 6,500 go to 2,000.
Chris will be there, I heard from them.
It's kind of hard if you don't hear from them, if you you know, because some of these organizations are here one day.
And like I say, I know that the Christian Ministries is still
Oh, yeah.
Norma's house. We do the soil and water conservation.
We always ask, they're good about
Yeah.
getting it, always.
And we always get into, you know, when we start talking about the scrap iron and doing the donations there, and it goes to different, to additional entities or whatever, that's what, kind of what I always kind of keep, you know, they need to be listed in here, since we're giving to them, and recognized as one of these organizations, because it's, you know, at least talk about it at this time of the year, instead of just, you know, in the past, we just always did it, and then we just also make a donation to this outfit or another. That's why I just wanted to, if we're gonna do something or give something that's to another organization, try to get it listed with all of these where we're consistent. So,
Yeah, or if you have some that you could give to or something that you may want.
Sean, does the outside auditor want like a letter from these people requesting that?
No,
No?
no, it's just
So
easier for us.
to, yeah, keep up with it, same thing.
Yeah.
For us to pay.
Right, to pay them, yeah.
So which ones, do we know which ones at this time haven't received their money?
CASA for sure, I know them, and,
CASA has not?
the mental health services, is that? I don't know.
So is the Meals on Wheels still going? Is that one, I mean, because it used to be in conjunction with the,
Oh, yeah, Carrie's good.
yeah, Carrie's really
Senior
good. She's no
citizens,
longer
yeah.
doing the transit because all that's through, Golden Crescent.
She gets her money right away, she
That's
needs
what-
it.
Go ahead.
That's why I've given my scrap money to that, I mean, Meals on Wheels.
so I'm saying, we just put it in here, and then when you get your scrap money, you just put it in your account, or whatever, it's not an extra step we gotta go through. I don't know if that makes it any simpler, easier on auditor side there, or if it's something that's,
Kind of goes inside y'all, not in general fund records. Budget amendment doesn't transfer it to us.
so then would you have to donate, I mean, how do we account for it? Do we do a donation within our precinct, or how do we?
I'd like for it to stay all in general, so I'm thinking I could probably just do a budget amendment to transfer out of y'all's. That kind of double check, that's. So it's a clear.
What is it, it's something we do, talk about it, do it here, put everybody on the
The thing
table?
is, though, you don't know how much you're gonna have in scrap. So you can't really say, I'm gonna give them $4,000 and you need $7,000 in scrap.
We'd also like,
And they already went $4,000. That's the only problem I see with that.
and then on the preservation Gonzales, we're gonna drop that one. Drop it to 10, is that what we discussed?
Okay, we got historical commission.
Yeah.
If we do anything on historical, it's gonna go.
Not this one.
What was that historical commission?
That's what we used, is that the one where you used to just give them the money? See, we didn't budget anything last year because they have their own
Yeah.
department.
Yeah, so that, we probably, we got mine.
Well, it's gotta drop off after so many years. That's why it's just a zero.
The preservation Gonzales is within that same.
It's not the same.
What exactly is that one? That was.
Amy, you want it?
Preservation Gonzales is what runs the Old Jail Museum. That's what it was set up for.
We don't also pay that with non-department, if there's something that has to be done over there, it's a county building.
Yeah, we pay for that.
When those jobs still is a county building, we do pull from that if we need to know.
You pull from your maintenance. You already budget for that.
Maintenance. What do you think we decide on that?
I mean, you're asking everybody to cut back, so you need to consider that with all of these as well.
You don't have preservation. Do we get a regular from them or get a letter or something?
We started getting, we used to just give the money in the past, but now we're requiring
They
them
requested.
to submit so we know how much it is. In the past, we did not have any idea.
You've gotten that.
Yes, that's always done tonight. I don't know if they requested,
You know,
like for next year, if they requested it by next
so
year.
they have gotten this year's.
She just sent me, Costa hasn't paid, Child Services hasn't paid, hasn't received anything.
Just got Maggie's Thursday.
Okay. Mental Health, the 4946, and Gonzales County Restoration.
This is the letter.
They're requesting that they're, let's say, yeah.
That's what that restoration.
What is it?
Gonzales County Restoration is pioneer.
Well, I don't get anything from them unless somebody receives it to me.
I never received any for the next year. And if we receive anything that they're asking to do the money, we, yeah.
That's Gonzales County Restoration.
It looked like we didn't pay the year before either. They didn't request it.
See, I don't know anything about them. I've never received anything from them. So that was something else.
Do we want to refine that little list of exactly who is requesting, who hasn't been? And we can come back to that at another one review. Verify exactly which ones.
The same amounts in them from last year.
Yeah, I mean, most of those have been the same amount for several years.
I guess if we just don't request it, we just roll it back.
So don't reach out to them. That's what I do. I tell them, if you have any of to get it, and I need a letter if you want to be put back to the next. I quit doing that.
Yeah, so pretty much the ones that received it last year, but if they, like some of those that haven't received it in a couple of years, you just assume that they're pretty much not requesting, not receiving.
She said Crystal Theater hasn't received money yet either.
We just started with them, so I don't know what they do.
$49.52.
What are you doing now? What are you doing? What are you doing?
What's 25?
That's what I'm saying, you don't wanna go budget if they're not gonna request it, but
Are they the only one involved in it? Up just one?
well, there's a few on here that, is that what you're saying, there's a few that have not requested this year, so.
They haven't
Otherwise, yeah.
requested last year's.
Yeah, there's,
Yeah.
one.
And CASA,
Then if they haven't
I've
requested the
tried to
last 2
get hold of
years,
them.
take it off and come back next year. Look at it.
Or if it's something, do a budget amendment if we need to, or whatever. Yeah, if they haven't requested this year, especially if it's been one that's received in the past, as you know. Like the Nixon Smiley and Welder libraries, all three received, but they haven't requested.
no, they did, because I had to reach out for them to give me a letter to get their money and tell them to, if you want to be in our budget for next year, you need to send me a letter. And they did, but I have to tell them.
So who, I guess my question, who on here is not requested?
I have the letters back there. I know CASA,
CASA has a mental health and that's the two that she.
yeah, those are the main two.
They're showing mental health has got, they have got theirs.
No, they haven't got their money from the last budget.
Child services got theirs. Nixon Library got theirs too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the three libraries we got there.
Yes.
Christian Ministries got theirs also.
Yes.
That's the South Island.
It just seems kind of crazy that we have to call them
I agree.
See if they want their money.
They want money?
Well, see, but a lot of times they're volunteer organizations, if they change,
Yeah.
and they're like, well, so-and-so did that last year, and she's not here anymore, and then they,
Right.
So I think that was, I know, like that Nixon Ministerial Alliance, I think they kind of every year, Sherry Weeks used to do it, and then I don't know if she's doing it anymore.
Tell them to request it right away and not wait till,
Or when you come pick yours up, put a letter in for next year.
yeah.
Better request.
That'd be the easiest way.
No letter, no money.
Yes, we get on some of that, but then we set out a preservation is also.
And that's the 4,000 for the jail. And on there, when they do their budget and whatnot, did they submit a budget for this year with the letter, or was it just the letter?
Historical Commission?
The jail, the preservation.
It's just a letter.
No, they don't do that.
They don't.
They're about preservation.
Yeah, preservation is all right.
Yeah.
We just give them the money. Because I know they take donations and.
But we need to have an itemized ordinance.
Preservation. Not the preservation.
Preservation of laws is the old jail. Correct.
That's it.
Yes. to give them 20,000 in addition to building maintenance and taking care of all of that stuff.
So we used to, we'd give them as much, and then we were upped it and said, y'all are gonna be responsible now for all the upkeep. But then that didn't happen, we still kept giving them 20,000.
Yeah, because it was 21, then it went 23, and then it went down to 20.
Yeah, they just went over probably on repairs or something that year, so we had to up it. But, I mean, this was even prior to this, what's showing on here. How much we gave for the year, so we're trying to do that.
Make it something the city too, right?
We know what they get from the city.
They were getting 20, but I think they cut it, this budget.
You know they cut it too much.
Like I said, and let's not maybe answer that question on kind of the details on that, and what the city cut theirs to. And then, could we revisit that? Find out. Can we find out?
I told Sandra she was gonna come today, so I told her I should come.
This hazard mitigation plan, is that 25?
I don't know if we still, I don't know how long that goes on, first off, I think.
I mean, I remember it came down, but I don't know if it's that continuation that's gonna last forever, or if that's,
I don't
who handles that? Is that?
know anything about that, that's the, like, one of the grants. We have to pay in certain portions, I don't know.
It's for the plan, Sean, right?
Yeah, I don't know where we're at. Are we done, or I don't.
It should be at the end, but that one's 100% that they're gonna pay for it, though, right, with that grant?
Are we responsible for some of it?
So, what do we put in there?
25.
Yeah, well, this year, last year we ended up paying 32.5. The year before was 17.5, I don't.
And we paid 25 this year.
I thought that was 100%, that we weren't paying anything. It
We
wasn't.
would have paid 25 this year, or 50,
Sure.
so that's why I just put 25, so I didn't,
We will get that done.
yeah, I don't know.
We'll get the end of that one.
I'd say we hurt to drop down 15 on the reservation we always just,
That's just a joke.
that's a little different.
Double joke. What is that, what does that go on, with labor, or what is that? Maintenance? On a central area, or what?
We pay all the expenses, maintenance, sending
This
out.
is just their money to buy.
And the city gives them the same thing.
Maybe
That
ask
doesn't
her.
pay the labor.
Our labor or their?
Their labor.
I'm assuming that's what it's used for.
Yeah.
Their staff, their little expenses.
We put 15 on that one and then check on that hazard mitigation and see where we're gonna be on that.
I'll look back to on the preservation, what we did prior to this, just so y'all have an idea.
courthouse restoration. You know, we've been putting that back, is that 25, 26? Same thing, 26, 27, we're talking about.
1.5. That should give us four.
That would be, look at your general fund total, you would take the 4 million then off of that total.
Right, but it's sitting back.
So it's just, yeah, I mean, if we had to use it.
I guess they said on 15 on the reservation. So we don't have to worry about the 5304, that's done deal.
And that was in where, elections to the grant.
The first part with the master plan and all of that stuff, that was already taken care of. Okay, any other questions on that for you? Is that 47? Yeah. 45. HR, she's sitting back there quiet. Not a word. I'm looking at HR. You got everything that you needed so far?
Yeah, I just need to add, asking for a file cabinet for next year, so I'm running out of room, so I need another file cabinet. It's like $7,800.
HR, 406. Do we have enough in the budget
Right now.
to finagle around to get
I
that?
can check. It hit me, I was trying to figure out why these went down, a lot of the figures didn't go down. But I did change our retirement, and I talked to y'all about going from 16 to 14%, so that's less than that. And our health insurance, if we stayed the same, up in the deductible a little bit, so that's why a lot of this, some of these bottom line figures are less.
Yeah, I just don't know if she had enough in there for that file.
For this year?
Mhm.
I have to look.
I didn't think I did, as well.
I'm just looking at it from just what the last activity was. I just don't believe it. Well, that'll cut you short. Maybe. You got any more
That was
comments
like-
soon?
I'm going to one this week, and that's the last one.
There's still quite a bit left in office supplies, I mean,
Yeah.
you're gonna need, I mean, we wouldn't have to take all of it from one line.
I don't need
could
much,
take
because
a
all
couple,
I
you know.
already need paper and everything, so I should.
And then if we can just get it this year and then go from there, so I'm good with that. So we still drop that one about a little less than 5,
So you check 1350 on.
if she can find it in there.
Right. If I can find it, then I'll just go back down to what we had this year, the 500, just so something comes up, she has money.
All right. Everybody good with that one? Good. Good. 407. That's Shaw's.
I did reduce some of my lines. Office supplies, furniture and equipment, just little repair on our copier. I did ask for myself a raise to be brought up to what the previous auditor was making.
Yes. Is that figured into the
Yes.
requested sign?
I have it, yeah, I have it in there. It would, over the whole total
Oh, it's okay, it's okay.
It was on the desk.
It's all right, it's perfectly all right. I just want to make sure if you got one or not, you didn't get it.
I looked at it and they got my truck to that.
You know where it's at?
That's a smart deal, you saved a lot of money by doing it. All right, we moved to 408, which is the county treasurer.
The only thing she asked for is to put a mileage line in her budget, for when she has to go back and forth to the bank or run any kind of.
Was there money in the past, was there for that?
You know, it was something with the salary, like, she used to have it in with her salaries, and then they took it out because, see, they took, right, on, they took all the others out. I mean, this was years ago, though, not.
She used to have a vehicle expense.
Right, but they all did.
But not all, not everybody.
You didn't either? Okay.
I didn't. I don't know, I can't remember, she was on.
But y'all have mileage in y'all budget. Y'all
But
have
the
it.
employees,
You run it.
I don't have. Except I wrote
That's not.
So across the board, no other elected officials have mileage.
I got 2,000. I don't expend it.
Well, I have it, but
I don't think I ever spent 1,000, but I just do it whenever I run the welder or years.
that's when I.
The only time that I do is if I get called out and have to go to the jail or hospital or wherever I go. That's pretty much all the time. I have to come for the crap. But that's the only one that's, I know the JD's had it at one time, we had to go over to South for one deal. But I think Cody's the only one that becomes emergency. Everybody else does it by doing that.
Is that a big hassle in your office, the old mileage, or is it?
As long as they're turning in time, like, don't turn in one from the previous year, like in January, February, that.
Every 6 months or something?
You good,
I
point
wasn't putting you.
me out, point me out. I'm mad about that. Point me out.
We're gonna send reminders this year,
Ah,
so we can
thank
get
you.
everybody up.
Yeah. I know Paul used to do it too.
Yes.
Me and him were always on the food list. Thoughts? And she's in the, take it out,
She said it really didn't matter at this point, but.
What's that?
I guess what the problem was, she would be one of those.
anybody use it.
For the mileage?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Employee or the
I just,
official?
I'll have to just take an employee off the line.
Yeah, no, I mean,
If you have to run, like, I go to the center or whatever, if I just run to the bank or something, I don't really have that, but,
Yeah, I do it all right.
yeah. I just have to go.
Yeah, well, it-
you have mileage on yours?
That comes out of conference. The mileage is going to the bank or the post office or.
So if I drive to a conference, it comes out of conference.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll look like I'm bringing them to that. Well, this last year, last year,
No, it's not conference. Like when they go to the bank. They'll turn mileage.
Uh-oh, county tax assessor.
Yeah.
I did add, just so we had money in the bond premium line, so if anything came up, would be nothing, would have to go back to the number, so I just put $100 in there. It would just be, notaries, just in case we miss one, so we have it.
You good with everything else you got?
Should be perfect. I should come in under budget.
You have,
Yes,
you have.
we're very frugal.
Yeah, then on that mileage on hers, make her.
I just drop employees on everybody, then
Just
they
mileage.
have to use it, they.
Yeah. and ours.
Yeah, that's not employee mileage for when they go to the bank. We go daily, sometimes twice a
But
day, depending
don't use it
on.
all? So there's enough in there for elected officials, she goes around some?
I'm not gonna do that.
I know. I hear you. Give me.
Good on that one?
Going once, going twice. Everybody give it out? All right.
EA.
14?
So
There we go.
she has in overtime, we've always budgeted $3,000 for her. That is only to use during election time instead of getting comp time. With this year's election, she used that right away, so now she has an abundance of comp time. So I would like to up that part of it to her overtime to 5,000 or 6,000. So she doesn't get so much comp time. And then she requested herself getting a salary adjustment. I know y'all will talk about that later, but, and while we're on the topic of comp time, we
I
have.
was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
Go
Good time
right
to
ahead.
bring it up. We have lots of people, employees, that have a lot of comp time. I don't know if we want to look at doing some kind of policy, capping to 80 hours. When they get to 240, we have to pay them out. We have a couple that are kind of close to getting to that. If we want to, like I said, look into something capping it, and then if they go over, the way I was explained from TAC, we cannot tell them you have to take off. The elected official has to tell them they can. If they request sick leave or vacation, the elected official can say you're going to have to use comp because you have a limit on it. Of course, not losing vacation. Can't do it that way. But if they go over in the budget, then that employee doesn't have that position doesn't have enough money funded, so that employee an employee would have to take off because there's not enough money. Unless there's a budget amendment and y'all approve to adjust every year.
And I think right now, we said if we had to pay everybody out, it'd be $100,000.
Plus the benefits, yeah.
Benefits, where we're sitting right now, so. Well, I guess as elected officials, we need to bring up on ourselves and other elected officials to get the people to get their comp time down. Give them some time off, and burn some of it up, and truly, I would love to set an amount, because I mean, that's a liability that sits on your books. And if you have, God forbid, you had 3 people quit at one time, and they had all this comp time, then you're not budgeting for it. So.
Yeah, if you quit, whatever, get terminated, you have to be on the comp time out. You're 200 plus hours,
It's expenses, plus the benefits and everything else. And the thing that you gotta realize is they may approve this comp time when they first got started at $10 an hour, and now they're at $20 an hour. Well, all that comp time has got to be paid at that point. All right? Okay. So that can get expensive.
I think we capped it, put a number on it, kind of keep that at a manageable level. Like I said, you get 240 hours, that's a lot.
We're gonna have to come up with a policy.
Yeah.
You know, decide you want to do 80 hours, give till January or something for everybody to try to use theirs up to get to 80.
Everybody use it down to about 80 hours, and they can continue with 80 hours. But then after that, if they still go over that, then you still have to pay that 80, so you're gonna have to get them under that.
Right.
That's what vacation is, about 80 hours a week period.
Yeah, you carry 80 hours over, you lose it. But comp time you cannot lose, we have to pay the hours, that's physically work.
But you wouldn't want to force the comp time upon them where it would affect their vacation.
Right.
That would be my, that would be
You want
my.
to make them lose vacation, because that's who's comp time. So we just have to come up and we'll have to figure out what we're gonna do with the employee that has the 80 hours always, and this week they work comp time, but they didn't take off. You're gonna give them, you know, it's gonna be up to the elected official to be like, you need to take off now, 2 hours. You know, we have people that do earn it, we have people that just watch clocks and just clock in at those right times and get extra hours, so it's.
We don't get a whole lot, you know, call outs and stuff like that, but 80 something like that.
I like
Carry both over if you got to, you remember that.
Yeah, right. Once you get to 80, you know you're gonna have to start. Which will bring the road and bridge down too if y'all work during lunches for holiday weeks. You know, they can bring their hours down pretty quick if they start using that and not working. I mean, some of them don't have it, so they can.
Someone do go out and tree, got one of the roads.
There's either people that have a lot of comp time, sick time, or vacation time, and some that don't have our many.
Yeah.
Some of them use it as soon as they
Right.
That's a good thing.
You know where that goes,
But
I mean, sick time, everything. We use a lot of it sometimes.
It's good to have.
I mean, they could use their comp time for sick time.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's up
Most of them don't
to
have that choice, though. They don't have any.
Right. So is it okay if we come up, draft a policy and 80 hours and give them?
But then before we would set that policy into effect, we have to get the comp time down some, right?
Well, we can, I don't know, we should specify in the policy, but yeah, kind of starts on elected officials.
Yeah, if you have 150, 180 hours, it takes some time.
That's what I mean, so
Absorb
like
it,
give
you
it
don't
till
want to.
January.
You don't want to
1st,
lose
you know.
it, dump it on one time. So
Right,
give,
right.
give them 6
Slowly
months to
start.
or so to do it. But yeah, I think that we need to do that, and then
Yes, I have copies of y'all want.
and I mean, they're gracious enough, they send it out monthly, so you know where your employees stand. We just,
Yeah,
I guess it's like.
Every take care of
Enforce
Well, and like I say, when we had a little conference here a while back, with TAC, and she explained that to everybody, that, it's a benefit, but the elected official can manage, and explain to you when you need to use it, and
I know we all want to get it done like now, but maybe we could, I mean, because there's going to be some guys, I don't want them to lose vacation and comp.
But
You know what I mean?
that's their own fault too, though. I mean, you need to take your time.
I understand that,
Yeah,
but
there's
it's
a lot-
hard to
there's
get
a lot
them
of
to take
employees
vacation.
But if they don't take it, then they're elected not to take it. I mean, I'm gonna take my vacation.
I mean, but 6 months, and you would think with holidays coming up, if they
Yeah,
don't,
the rest of the year to take it. I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I know that, I like taking off, but I mean, I don't want to penalize.
The conflict is getting so out of hand right now that people are abusing it right now. They're like, they're abusing it bad right now and costing their money.
No, this is that.
They can't lose their comp time, we still have to pay them out for it, but if you have 6 months to get that comp time down without using, I mean, the road and bridge gets what, 2 weeks at the end of the year? I mean, we could do something there. And then they can work, you can tell them, hey, leave at, take a 2-hour lunch, take an hour lunch, or leave an hour early every day this week or something. So you can get it down a little bit more than what we have right now.
Sorry. They look any better than what you're doing.
It'll add up.
I would also like to request, when y'all guys work, they come in on a weekend or something, instead of just putting 7-1, 6 to 6 or something, y'all could just put tree down, or we're trying to get everybody to put some documentation as to why, so whenever we come back and look, you know, we can say your guys get caught out, you know, all the time because of whatever, or.
Those timelines, trees.
Yeah, just something, so we just kind of have some kind of documentation besides just the date and time, you know.
So is everybody in agreement to develop a policy to look at, and we'll get Kristen to look over it or help us figure it out, and then we'll figure out what we're going to implement it and how we can reduce the comp time? Y'all good with that? Good. I'm shaking with you, Roy.
I got too many on this.
So 80 hours would be our maximum deal with it. I think that's what everybody's contention is. All right. Good job,
Okay,
Roy.
We okay with doing $5,000 in overtime for elections?
Yes,
For the win?
I am.
It's just for the win, for,
I think so, but like I say, they would.
yeah, I think since the November election, with all other elections, she almost got like 175 hours. So I don't even know if 5,000 is gonna be, but.
Well, that'd be at least be a line there that we can put something more in.
Right.
We have a line for you.
So we know, yes.
And then as far as on the part on the salary stuff, we'll discuss that later, and figure out what we're gonna do on it. I think that any increase or anything that we do is gonna be for across the board. Unless y'all got anything else y'all want to say. Good on elections? Anything further, Sean?
That's it.
All right. All right, then 412, that's a whole, huh? Man. Oh, we skipped the page? Probably was a good idea. Oh, there's green.
Just for training.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Wouldn't that,
What I can say is I did go through the budget. I reduced about 6 or 7 line items, which is about 11.6, somewhere around there, 11.7, pretty close to that. Now, the only one, there is a big ask on capital outlay because we need a radio that's required by TICO for the other investigator vehicle. So that increases by 9. But I factored that in when I was looking over the budget on everything else. There's a couple of other, but they're they're minor increases just because of the additional employee. But again, I factored that in the reduction on some of the other stuff. So overall, I'm not asking for really any increases unless the county, decides that, the Commissioners Court decides that they want to approve employee raises. And this year, I didn't have any budget amendments that I had come to the court with. So I've been operating pretty even keel. And talking about mileage, on this proposed budget that I gave, there is an increase on that, but none of that's for me. As an elected official, I don't ask for mileage, and I don't ask for per diem if I'm out doing stuff for the county or whatever. I don't, that's not part of what I'm asking for, because I don't ask for that stuff. But because I'm still coming off of being in private practice for so many years, there are a lot of pro tem cases that we handle in Lavaca County and vice versa. So there is travel to Lavaca County a lot because of that, but that's going to wind down here in the next year or two.
That happened today.
Yeah, we're over there judging the fact that on jury trial and defense requested rescheduling for various and sundry reasons, but be that as it may, I was able to get over here for a workshop because we got let go early over there, so I hightailed it back over here. But overall, I don't think the bottom line number, and correct me if I'm wrong, Shauna, is increasing.
No, it's not.
I don't know how much it went down. I haven't done all the math on that, but it's pretty close to what it was last year, even though now we have another employee, so we've absorbed that. The other thing I wanted to mention was DeWitt Pope is not going to service our copier anymore, but I'm going to absorb that out of this year's budget, so that way I didn't have to do it for next year. I'm still moving stuff around and seeing where I'm going to get that, but I know that it's there. I know I can absorb that, because that's going to be about, I think, 8,000 or 9,000, something like that. But I'll figure that out for this year before next budget year. I didn't want to, ask for a copier and ask for a radio in the same budget, because that'd be, pretty close to 20,000, and I didn't want to do that to the county. So I'm going to figure it out this year, but again, I'm not really asking as far as any particular line item other than capital outlay for the radio, for anything big, and I've reduced it everywhere that I could. Now on the lab testing line item, I did reduce that by 5,000 this year.
Have you been using that lab?
I have. The thing is there's still bills out that we hadn't gotten, and there is a return on that. So,
And that's just for Bobby's reference.
Yeah.
His DPS was like inundated. So most of this is drug related for POM, like possession of marijuana.
yeah.
So that way they're able to prosecute, so we get a deal with Dallas.
Arlington Labs, Armstrong Labs in Arlington.
Armstrong Labs, and we have put 30-something thousand in there so that we can prosecute the cases, and that we've been using it, and it's been working good.
It's been working, and now there is a return on that. It's been slow just because it's got to get to court.
Right.
So what we've been doing on agreements on those cases is we make them pay that back up front. So
Yeah,
that we can return that.
that's another thing they put in there, pay back to the county attorney's office for the submission of that. So that's part of their plea, just so you understand.
So it is more money out than money in right now, just because we're still getting defendants to start paying that back. But that is starting to trickle in. Hopefully in the future, that'll be something that will be a little bit more even. But we're not quite there yet, because we just started it essentially, full blow this year. So
I'm glad that worked out.
Yeah.
So then, Shauna, on the forfeiture fund stuff, that's all taken care of? Because
Yeah, that's gonna be separate.
That's separate, that's not out, that's not actually, that's not county money, so
Right. The only thing I know this doesn't come out of your budget, but the LexisNexis has gone up. Lexis,
Oh, yeah.
that's
Because
the
library.
library funds, but I think one of the primary users probably.
Yeah, the sheriff's office has logins, all the constables have them, the judge has it. But yeah, you would probably have those.
LexisNexis, what's going on is
Not a car.
not a car. Not a car, but It's a legal search for attorneys, law enforcement use it to research cases and stuff. And it's something that we do have to have, so just to make sure.
Yeah, yeah, no, that, it rolled out last budget, where there's gonna be a lot more available. Counties do get a special rate because it's government. I asked a private attorney recently, what it costs on the private side, and it's dang near double what private attorneys have to pay than what the government has to pay. But yeah, it's not cheap. But yeah, that, basically, it's not only a research tool, it also helps draft, certain things. But it's, I mean, if defense attorneys have it, then we gotta have it, or else they're a step ahead and we don't like that. So yeah, but yeah, that, I think last year is when they got put on the library.
We probably have about 3 more years left on that.
Yeah. And then we'll figure that out.
What else?
Sir? Let's have questions.
I don't have any questions. Still a lot under what last year was, which everybody's saving money, so that's great.
Do my best.
Y'all good on that one? Gentlemen, good? Good.
Constable Moreno asked if we can go next year.
Yeah, what number?
Somewhere 423.
All right. So we are on cost is increasing.
Have I have questions? Are y'all okay with it? Now, on that wish, I want to say that wish list that I have for the weekend. I have the body cams, our present body cams, right up there, the live almost, so it's gonna be hard to get them from working with it, but then almost like an assignment. And the newer model that we're going to is video as service. So every year you pay a certain subscription fee for it. But I also went up to going to the cloud, which almost basically everybody's going to the cloud now. I got quite a discount. I got almost $14,000 discount on that quote. It was $46,000 and he lowered it down to $33,000 and it changed there. So that's for basically the 2 units. I didn't put one in the other one. I think I put some of the equipment in the other spare vehicle. But I didn't order a body cam because there's not another option. Also, a little bit of description about it is it's faster, it's upgraded, and the platform also provides connectivity, faster and more consistent video transfers, also improves system reliability. And after 3 years, you get a no or minimal cost upgrade after the 3 years. It upgrades to another camera, a little bit more advanced on it.
After 3 years?
It might be a minimal cost, but they're not sure until that takes place. But also with this cloud, I'm also just to send a link instead of having to buy USBs or DVDs. I can send a link to the county attorney's office and they're able to not having to buy an extra USB drive or DVDs for it also.
And that outfits 2 cars. Or 2.
Gonna outfit 2 cars. Well, 3 cars completely, but we didn't buy the body camera because we didn't have no need for it.
He'd also asked some of the lines he requested. Y'all don't see on y'all end. but he told me he would reduce some of his lines. So he reduced some of these. Yeah.
The other items.
Right, some, they don't see it, get talked after the fact, you know, so,
And
Also,
also,
in this one on that, 17, is that added in there or not added?
it is not right now, no.
Where is that?
17.
That's where this 33,000 is. And I'm thinking that was with the first year subscription. Like 33,000, and then every year after that, you just pay the subscription.
well, every year is gonna be, the first year is the same amount.
Right.
It breaks it down into, every year it comes out, it was 6,000.
Right, $6,061 or something. So then we'll just put that.
Comes out to $8,796. That's to upfront cost, and then every year after that is $6,061 a year.
Yeah, then so next year you'll just. pay that.
First upfront cost, and then after that, it's $100.
That's still even adding that, those two vehicles outfitted, they're still less than.
Yes, yeah, he's still.
I like, I mean, they're 30,000, 20-something, 28,000.
He gave me, I've been haggling with him quite a bit. We went back and forth for about 3 months, so I got him to get that discounted pricing. And I'm also gonna trade in, I think, the 3 body cameras that we have now, and the monitors also go back. So they give us a little bit for that. But he said, man, he said, I got thousands of them sitting in my deal that nobody's using each one. They're wrong.
And trade-in.
Okay.
So we got all of that, anybody have a problem with that?
Unfortunately, that computer stuff, just over time, in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, that stuff gets out of date.
I also put in there about a computer, your computer, that peacemaker, that's also subscription by year. And at least if something happens, because like on the ones we have now, if it can't upgrade to 12, then those 12 is coming out pretty soon. If it can't upgrade, it's not gonna be no use. Because procedures, if you're not up to date on all your stuff, you can't use it.
Yeah, and then on the other, depending on how we end up at the end of the year on the budget, we can give that, give them all employees something. One out, we discussed that earlier on those. And then,
The printer, I'm already ordering that.
I think everything else is there except for the.
We did add, cell phone.
Yeah.
They don't have county cell phones, so they will have two.
And then as far as the request for patrol officer, we'll see how we look at the end of the
Yeah,
year.
let me know.
And go, I know he's requesting another officer, that's okay.
That officer will not be the county, he's gonna work strictly within the county and be available.
We're also gonna take out the, I'm not sure if y'all still have it in your budget, but the 5161, the radio service fee for the CRA. We can have that in
Yeah, all of them coming out,
hospitals.
all of our deals, I don't know how much that was, not a whole lot.
Except the sheriff is going to keep it.
Yes.
So, yeah, he'll be the only one, so that will come out of our price.
Also, the overtime deficit, that kind of needs to stay because we're still messing with that textile grant. We just need one little item and it's ready to go.
Yeah, we've already got that figured in.
Yeah, it's on there.
And under last year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anybody got questions? Good? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So for well, the juvenile probation, they are gonna be totally separate now, this is coming out, they're gonna have their own budget. their
Right.
own- So we don't have that in here anymore.
So we don't have to worry about that, it's on 2 different deals on something else. So we go to 414.
413.
Now 413.
I know about, we just put in what they did last year. There's something else.
They reduced theirs.
They reduced it,
More, okay.
less than the 10? Do we know what it was?
I thought I put it in there. It's not in there?
Hang on. Too many pieces of paper there.
Yeah, juvenile fish separate. The whole wages. Just go, just flip one page. There. Yeah.
You know which one it was exactly?
I was in your green book.
Huh?
I was in the green book.
Green
Liz,
book.
Liz, did you take out the historical commission's budget?
Oh, wait a minute.
Never mind.
So, that one would go to 9,000 instead of 10. Yeah.
What did they?
I don't know what they changed.
I know it's reduced, so I wondered.
Yeah, she can tell it. Okay. You got what change you need this?
You don't need it, I'll take it.
That's fine. All right, move forward. 414, need a district clerk.
She didn't ask for anything extra this year. Pretty much, most stayed the same. Most of it.
No change,
No change.
new budget.
Under budget. No good? You guys, it's about, yeah, about 10, 9. District court. This is gonna be a,
Yeah, I did increase court-appointed attorneys and I increased petty jurors. So we've gone over both of those. So court-appointed may go up more yet. Let's see what else. Or CPS may go up too. They kind of come in spells. We'll get a whole bunch of CPS at one time and it just goes over, so. Oh, and then the court reporters for the 25th and second 25th, and the court coordinators, I don't know the exact yet. They said they're talking about the benefits and everything, increasing them by 15%, so I went in and just put 15% in there. They said, I don't know, I won't have those figures for a little bit.
regardless, they'll find out a lot of savings there.
Yeah. Yeah, everything wires, you know.
It's just something we just don't have a lot of control over.
Well, I appreciate that little, you saved us $60,000.
Still, if indigent defense would come back and give us a little something back on it, that sure would make.
I think last year we got 25 or 27,000, and compared to what we spend across the board, it's
Nothing. And I thought they were supposed to do a lot more this year. We'll see. Good?
So,
All right. Justice Peace Precinct 1.
She just decreased the order lines, didn't ask for anything special this year.
And I know, let's see, I guess I got it on KP3 too, but we just discussed that Justice Court, security fund. How it's funded, that one, it's getting low too, right?
Yeah, that's where their training comes from.
So a lot of the training on the,
We did add, that was in 3 and 4, though, was security. The Justice Court Training Fund is what they use for training their computer, copy maintenance and the new computers. That is getting, we're staying afloat every year, with what they're spending and what we get in.
what does that usually fund?
Part of the citation.
Part of citations in the county?
Right.
Really back there. Really back there. Yeah. All right. So precinct 3.
And he requested that his clerk 1 be moved to a clerk 2, which is about a $2,000 increase. Then I added a line for security service that was funded from a Justice Court Building Security Fund, which also used to pay for the video administration. They quit paying for that out of there, and now for their security system, we're going to start taking it out of his budget.
Okay. And that clerk one, how long have they been there?
4 years. No salary stuff has changed in this, so when we decide that, we'll change that.
That's
But,
fine. And that's another thing I just want to bring to the court's attention on the clerks and such. It would be nice to do something in the fact that, you know, if you have a clerk one, you know, you've been here at least 5 years before you would be able to move. We kind of discussed that, move to a clerk 2. And then after clerk 2, be here at least 5 years before you move to the top stage to kind of make it even across the board. I know I say that, I just lived DPS forever, and you know, we had trooper 1, trooper 2, and it was in increments before you could actually move up. I'm not saying that some employees that don't deserve it, but when you have some that would be doing it that may have less time on, and they're getting paid less, but they moved up. So that's something I would ask y'all to think about, some type of pay scale structure for clerk. We have a pay scale structure, but we need to probably put some term or time limits in it before we can do it. That's just my opinion.
like if you had a clerk 2 position, and they left, and you were refilling that position.
Goes
so
back
they would
to,
start the clerk 1.
They
go back to a clerk 1.
And currently, is that how it's done? I mean, or now if you just fill that
Yeah,
position,
yeah.
is it?
Pretty much, they would move somebody up normally. Yeah.
But you don't have to.
Right, you don't have to. And that would be with this too, if they're here 5 years and you don't feel that they're up to, you wouldn't have to.
But then that would be on the elected official, if they feel this is their.
Right, and then we'll have to think of if somebody transfers to another office, what do you do with that? And say, okay, take care of it. If they start back down to the clerk line, you know,
you'd have to say, well, if you had years with the county or in that pay grade.
Yeah, if it would be a lateral transfer, you know anything about that department, that's the only thing I kind of.
Well, you could say if I had 6 years and I was transferring over, it would be again up to the elected official if they say, no.
You're gonna be a clerk one, not a two.
Right, I'm hired clerk one. If you want to go down or whatever, that's up to you.
Exactly, you're right.
But if they wanted to keep them at that level, because it would be not an incentive for somebody to say, I'd love to go work for you, but I can't because I'm going to take a pay cut.
Yeah, so that's something we'll have to figure out.
I think if we came up with some guidelines, that helped make things a little more, structured, but yet leave some discretion in there for the elected official in those situations.
Good.
Questions on that?
All right, we'll move to 418. Background here.
He said he was coming.
He did. Does he want? So, I guess on JP4, there was an initial deal, but and he wanted to reduce $3,200 because you went to the matches, but he's going to continue to match it. So that's changed, so that's a new point. Then we have the 4570 again, Shauna, which is
Security
security
services.
services.
I'm also looking into, and even Constable Moreno's, their telephone in yours. They pay a whole lot for telephones, so we're trying to find some kind of service for them to try to reduce that.
And again, that justice fund is, its citations are down, so it's not replenishing like it used to. It had plenty of time. Now it's just what it was for nothing.
Countywide.
Countywide citations, yes.
Is it broken down by precinct, by what's in that precinct, what's in?
No, it's just through basically plastic charges.
Right.
What it comes from.
It's just
Any traffic offense, PI, disorderly conduct, traffic offense citation.
No, you're talking about the magistration too. Is that what we do kind of similar with other counties do as far as who can magistrate? Because the only people that can magistrate have to be a judge or.
Yeah, well, it's kind of, well, it's not under, it's a written rule, and we got legal back here that can do it, is any judge, district judge, myself, JPs are all magistrates. District judges are not magistrates, even though they could. Your municipal judges are magistrates. So it's just always kind of been a written rule in the county that the JPs have done the magistration. It pretty much states that's one of their job descriptions in the law is that they'll do magistration. And I do magistration. I assist the JPs, the 3 JPs. So between us, we actually have 4 magistrates in the county. We take turns on weekends.
And that is a lot of time, but what I was looking at, what kind of came to mind to me was because municipal judges also magistrate. If you throw a few more people in the rotation, that would separate the number of weekends that you're on call and what have you. I don't know if that's something that
Yeah, I mean,
would be up for
that is a
discussion.
possibility, and I think, Eddie, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the municipal judge down there in Smiley, she magistrates in DeWitt County, right?
Yeah, she just started as municipal judge in Dixon.
So the deal about that is she's not a county employee. That's where the problem comes in. So you can't force her to do it unless the cities and stuff would kick in to pay her salary. Or I guess the county could give her some type of a stipend to magistrate, that's another.
Well, you know, I know, you know, we incur the entire cost of the jail and staffing the jail and doing all that. And the cities get to utilize that, so, you know, it's not like we're asking them to go above and beyond. They did partake in the administration process. I was just trying to see if there was some way to, you know, spread the work out. Just a thought.
Eddie, you may know, as far as the municipal judge in the Smiley area, does she get compensated by Dewitt County, or do you know?
That I don't. Next time I see her, I'm gonna ask.
Just curious.
Yeah, I know I am too, because yeah, that's also a role that municipal judges you know, as far as how they're compensated for that weekend or whatever, that part I don't know, but I can find out for the court.
And I mean, you know, the other municipal judge locally is Deidre is a municipal judge, and also JP. She already does one weekend, but that's,
It's just a thought that, you know, again, we do that every weekend, that does get tough on the schedule.
There's also a municipal judge as well.
oh, that's right. And Jesse, I think, is he still a municipal judge?
Last I heard, he was still doing that, so that would add an additional, potentially 2 judges for magistration. Because it's the same municipal judge for Smiley and for Nixon now, but then we also have the municipal judge in Welder, so that potentially is 2 more judges that.
That could go into rotation.
That would give you every other month, somebody to kind of get an extra spot on that have you. Just a thought.
When we discussed that 4570 already, that you guys had not.
Yes, yeah, I already.
Maybe we do about 6,000. All right, courthouse. So we still have carried over from last year, a vehicle that we were gonna get for, Brian and Scott, which would have been a utility vehicle, but we still have not found one. So, do y'all have any objection to rolling that into this year to see if we maybe can find one this year?
Yeah, but what are you talking about, budgeted for last year,
Yeah.
just to roll over.
Yeah. I think it's like, we budgeted at 5600.
I was also wondering if we need to put more utilities since the annex of the other nine.
Say it again.
More utilities since the annex of the other nine.
You know, that is a good thought. I just don't know how much electricity is going to
Maybe go with it and see.
It's pretty well insulated. I ain't saying that it's not going to, but we had a bunch of folks in there the last time when we had it, did everything that we had budgeted covered again. Back when it was running through DPS and probation and all that, is that the same amount?
Do you remember when, December of 24?
We haven't really, which line item was that?
4,400.
44.
Looks like in FY '25, we only used 113 of 120 budgeted. So if we go 120 again, I mean.
Even if we went back to the, I guess, 2024?
Or it's like 123.
Yeah. We'll make it 125, just to be safe.
I think it wouldn't hurt, because at least we're.
Just hate to cut it short somewhere else then when we.
Yeah, let's just do that, let's make that 125, just to be safe, and then we'll get through a year, and we'll see, maybe it'll be, what do you call it? Energy.
Any other major changes on that?
I don't think we had many major changes at all on that, we still roll stuff over. Do you think the miscellaneous is still good at 45, you think that's enough, because I know
I think
we pull from that a lot at times.
Right.
And then like I say, if we get, if the courthouse renovation goes through and all the moving expenses, that all is considered part of that.
I mean, we still kept 50,000 for repair rate or rather also, but, you know, if we do some rental stuff at 50,000 in here.
That's just, yeah, just extra.
You know, right.
That's budgets went down from 955 to 916.
And I would assume once we, if we're gonna renovate this, we wouldn't be paying clock maintenance.
Right.
I know it's only $1,800, but we just have to remember when that time comes, not to just automatically send them a check out.
And then utilities, you should probably go down.
Oh, here, that's true. About that. So we go down, so that goes up for this year.
So we would still have some.
Right, what's the week?
All right. Good old courthouse folks.
So on the courthouse line, for the maintenance guys, running 2 pickups, they fuel out of precinct 1. And also the custodial service, they have 2 pickups. We started out 1 pickup, with no pickups, and then now we're up to 4 pickups running fuel out of precinct 1. And I do the uniforms for the maintenance department as well.
Do they use a fuel card?
No.
So they
They
get them a
got
fuel
precinct
card.
one.
Then they
Right,
could-
so we have to put, in 419, we have to put a fuel line.
I don't believe it was that much, but I mean, I'm looking at, we started out with 1 pickup on, and now we're at 4.
No, I mean,
So it's a lot of running around.
yeah, if they had their own cars, it wouldn't, you know.
Right.
That would each, yeah.
Well, yeah, each one, fuel card and six, so.
What's the total amount for a budget for 4 trucks?
How much do they go to Nixon or Welder? I mean,
It
it's,
varies, they, you know.
the maintenance, I mean, I know they kind of run around.
Usually one truck.
They use, the maintenance has 2 trucks or?
Yes, 2 pickups.
I mean, usually just in one, they won't use one. So they're usually together. They don't use one
They've
truck.
been running 2 pickups.
Not that much. Every time I see them, they together.
One of them.
Well, there's a lot of times, I see them quite a bit at precinct 1.
35. Just put 3,500 on it and we'll just.
And I got each one a fuel card.
Well, if you get a service truck that is, get rid of the pickup, like, probably get rid of these one of them.
Yeah.
Probably that.
Yes.
And we got some of it in this ancient.
You know, I mean, and when they go do, they don't use neither one of them pickups for dragging
I was thinking election.
the election trailer, they use my pickup. Or one of my pickups if I'm gone. Because that trailer is not, it's too much trailer for half time.
Yeah, if they get a new, they're gonna get a new truck, they'll get a 3/4 ton full size.
Yeah. Or one's
Or
on.
whatever, something
Yeah.
that could handle that for sure.
It's one, right?
Yes.
If it's gonna have a service, then it'd be better to get them on touch that.
I would say go.
I agree.
You got the extra spring.
Just put a fuel card in there for 3,500, and that will be for all maintenance and stuff.
And for uniforms, that's just, the whole thing's that much there.
Put the market transfer it. You have to turn them in.
See what they run and put that money in here. You want us to wait?
If you, yeah.
Okay.
Sheriff had to step out for a speaking engagement at the Lions Club, but he'll be back here.
So we can just skip over
Yep.
jail right now.
Do y'all want to take a break for lunch? I know Tony's always hungry.
You all.
I'm not bumping myself out.
I know better than that when y'all two.
Y'all want to take an hour and then we'll come back?
Whatever you want.
Angela's hungry too. Huh?
And you don't have to do it all week.
Well, we're on a roll. I mean, y'all want to keep going?
What do we need to get this kind of,
That would try tomorrow. Can't wait till next work, or that's too,
Yeah, we can roll through it.
yeah, that's
so we get some baseline numbers to work with for everything else?
Are y'all good with that, guys? Everybody understand?
I'm hungry, this is candy, right?
Boy wants to keep going.
Next time we order some pizza, then we can just keep going.
We would here,
Yeah, here.
whatever.
budget workshop? All right, let me look at this.
Come back to see. 6, 7 o'clock.
Hey, do they have any court upstairs tomorrow? I'm just saying we can recess till tomorrow. Y'all good until tomorrow?
I don't know what you have on your calendar.
I'm looking at mine, I got an annex meeting and then there's a JP. Huh?
Yeah, JP has the courtroom.
No.
No, we're not.
And maybe
It was-
civil.
I'm just saying y'all got an issue
Yeah,
tomorrow.
I think it's just one hearing, though, I don't think it'll take very long.
Put y'all
Yeah,
in
for
place.
upstairs, but they have.
I'm sure, yeah, it's just one hearing.
As long as we don't have a district judge here. Y'all got anything tomorrow?
The jury trial is canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Now, like
no-
CPS or anything else that's going on?
Yeah. They wouldn't have scheduled it on a week before the trial, and then the trial was canceled, so it should be available for.
Yeah, it's easy.
Hey, we can recess till tomorrow and just come back and start at 8, man.
Okay, we can't schedule a meeting to offer.
Yeah, if there's a motion, then it continue tomorrow.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That we need, are y'all going tomorrow during the day?
Yeah.
You got some morning meeting to do. I know that's your relaxing.
You hungry?
Well, I know he eat because I watched him. He was.
I have to take a break.
You wanna run? Yeah. Mine's easy.
We'll do precinct 1 real fast, since the sheriff's out, and then we can do that other stuff tomorrow.
You shouldn't have any more sheriffs because that jury trial's canceled.
All right, so
Because
then,
Deidre has.
JP1 will be up there tomorrow.
Yeah.
She'll move up there tomorrow for the deal.
Page 36.
Just have the 9 o'clock annexed, I think, in the morning. Just the regular meeting.
Yeah.
You okay with this? Okay, just saying.
Page, we agree page 36.
Page 36.
Yeah, I'm agreeing page.
Gotcha.
Give me time to get there, but my budget's pretty similar to what it has been the last couple of years. I mean, we should run a pretty tight budget. I don't have any big requests this year. The only capital outlay item on there is just a new laptop for my truck. The one I have now is just getting outdated. It runs a little slow. It still works, but if I can get one budget for this coming year, that'd be great. Just be able to replace that one. It's several years old. I don't know if it's probably 4 years old maybe now. But that's the only bigger ticket item I guess I would have as a request.
You have that, Sean? It's already in there.
You're gonna
Yeah, I
just
think
buy
it's-
one, right? You're not gonna.
Yeah,
do
this
the-
is just an outright purchase.
Okay.
I think it's 2,800.
You said 28,
Yeah.
Can't get out.
And then, I know that I have Johnny a little bit too, that animal control, that goes towards his salary.
Yes, it does, yeah, I know we talked about why they're two separate lines, I mean, we could put all the constables, whatever they have into one.
Yeah, I mean, because each of them have a 10, it should just.
Just put all
I'm
their
good with
salary
y'all
and get rid of
going
their
with
extra
salary,
line.
And I don't think y'all would be, yeah, that's just.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that was the only other request, is if we could combine those two lines, I appreciate it.
I did. We increased his operating supplies, or we just kind of realized, but that went up, we increased it to $1,000.
No, it's just based off of basically this year's budget where I ran short on some things, so I knew that next year would probably be similar to that.
because the LCRA line also will take that $1,200.
Because that, the $1,200 is still in.
Correct, right.
Halfway through? All right then, I'll entertain a motion to recess to come back tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Second that emotion.
I'll make the motion, we got a second. I'll make the motion, we got a second. All in favor? All opposed? See y'all at 9 o'clock tomorrow.